What's happening? Long time coming. It's the health window. My name Jay Hunter. I have my boy Complex Key, my boy Hen Hen, aka Anything Possible.
And no,
Man, man, I know it's been a minute, man. How y'all brothers doing, bro?
God is amazing.
Yeah. Definitely keep
Yeah,
it between
man.
the pictures, man. We good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tonight, man, we're gonna do it a little different, man. I know Father's Day has passed, and happy late Father's Day to all you brothers out there, all the people that's fathers, and um I pray for the ones that lost fathers and lost, and anybody that is a has any impact over any kind of child or anything like that, man. We salute you guys that you could be stepfather like myself, real father like myself. You brothers, we have blended families, and I just tip my head off to every father that's out there, man. And we're gonna get on a topic about real men stepping up. And that's just something that society needs at this point. For long, there's a lot of statistics that show that a lot of the fathers are absent, and especially in the black culture. Um, a lot of the families are broken because of relationships and stuff that happens over the past, and but there's always a need for a father to give his example, to give his leadership, his domain, his presence, his dominance. It is so needed in our culture, and not only in our culture, but around the world, period. Um, Raising leaders and having that type of impact. Um, it's just something that the world is dying for. So I have a few questions, brothers, and I want to jump into it. And my first question is probably like a two-part question, but I'm gonna ask first. And the first question is, what does being a present father means to you?
Okay. Um, I think the simplest form is um just being attentive for real. I feel like having your attention where your intentions are usually aligns with whoever you're around, especially when it comes to our kids. They can feel when they don't have your attention, especially once they get of age. So I just feel like you should always want to be able to have that type of a space for them and being attentive to what they want because it could be something as little as, um, when they share their dislikes with you, you're not really focused on that. You're more so focused on maybe because you told them don't do this, you don't know why they don't dislike it, because you're not attentive to why they don't dislike it. You're not really knowing who you're
Mhm.
dealing with because you're not attentive to that child. So I feel like something as simple as that, just being attentive.
Man, Cole, you really hit it on the head. That's about the same thing I could say. You really have to pull yourself into whatever they got going on, however minuscule it may seem to you, is regardless. It's a big thing to them. Or
Mhm.
otherwise, they wouldn't even be bringing it to you. So at the very most, just listening to them think through their thoughts, because you're absolutely right. They do know and can realize when they don't have your 100% attention, and that's a very fragile thing that can be broken very early. You talking to everybody else, you
Right.
screwing on your phone, whatever else, when they're trying to express an idea to you, you don't even realize that you could be building walls up that's going to pop up later on that you have to deal with simply because you didn't listen to them talk about what tickled them about, I don't know, Bluey.
Right.
Something that you would think is insignificant, but it's a big thing to them just because of their perception. Their perception at that point in time is not as wide as yours. So yeah, you really have to be attentive to nurture that childhood that imagination, everything that they're going through at that particular point in time, that's just all part of the growing process. But you really have to be an attentive parent.
to 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 add to that, man, and both of y'all brothers hit some solid points. To add to that, is like I thought of an example while y'all was talking, and like my son will come in every once in a while, and he has like an issue that he wants to talk about, things that he, and the crazy part about it is that he's so used to me having so much going on, right? To where it's like, oh man, never mind. And I'll be like, what, son? Let me know. It's like, I don't want to bother you, right? Because he's thinking in his mind like he got other things going on. Work, that's important, right? Because he see me get up and go do it every day. um, Other things that I do around the house, if he see me on my phone, like him just said, that might be something. And he'd be like, oh man, is that something with work you're doing? He always have to ask first because he feels like, dang, I can't just go in there and just ask him this. And that's what he feels because he sees what I'm doing, right? So with that being said, I thought about it while you were saying that, and I was like, well, how many times had he shut down without able to say what he wanted to say because he thought I was too busy, right? I brought myself back to when I was a kid, and my dad worked a lot. He was always gone. And I had like personal things that I wanted to talk about or whatever, but I knew he was busy. I looked at him, the same thing. So whenever you see that child and they have that reaction, whenever they see that you may be looking busy to them, is our task to just be able to notice it, identify, like, and kind of almost like stop what you're doing, really, because that's important for that kid. Because it's enough for them to be able to come to you with whatever they thinking about. Because they don't think a lot of times it's like, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, or like, and that's the biggest one. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble. That's what my son always say. And I was like, dude, like, let's talk. But if you coming to me truthful and you saying something that's bothering you, let's get through it, right? You're not going to get in trouble for telling me how you feel. And I'm not going to make you feel bad about how you feel, right? So a lot of us, we come from that. It's funny because I was talking to one of my friends about this earlier today. And I was talking about when I was young and I was trying to end my life at 10 years old. And I was sitting at we had a big old ditch on the side of our house. It barely had water in it. It only had a lot of water in it once rain come or something like that. But I was at the edge of the ditch, concrete, and I'm on my bike, and my family comes outside, and I'm just telling everybody bye. I thought it was over, right? And I'm just like, I thought it was over, and everybody came outside, all the neighbors, everybody come outside, and I
Yeah.
and I went, jumped in, right? Jumped in, nothing happened. Thank God I was okay. Got out. And once I got in the house, I got whipped for it, right? And that back then, that was one of the things, bro. It's like you catch whippings. You didn't have like a lot of sitting down talking to, like, what's going on with your mental, son? Like, are you okay? Like, and those are the things that we have to like transform our minds to give to the others, to give to our children and to people that we mentor and be around. So like they should have that access and that avenue to us to be able to talk about anything.
1,000%. This,
So go ahead, Cole. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say is just again around the father space. It's like this is, you may even touch on this, but I feel like this is why one, being a present father matters, whether in the house or not. Because again, having that space of safety from man to boy, especially, or man to little girl, whichever way it goes or comes, it's like having that space is what they need to then feel comfortable. So it's like once they come to you, that's them letting you know, hey, I'm safe with sharing this for you. But it's like
Mhm.
if we're not creating that environment, because again, we're not present, we're not having real convos, then it's like they may open up or try to open up their way, and then once, like you said, that wall comes up, that's it. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So I got another question. It says, what has been the most rewarding part of being a father?
I let go. He ain't go first, man. He gonna drop some gems first, and I just want to add to his. So
That's a difficult one because, in all honesty, if I say, raising them and watching them grow, physically, intellectually, emotionally, mentally, doesn't fully encapsulate everything because I can see them, say, just on intellectual front, some questions or things they may have answers to that I wouldn't even think that their mind, is turning at that type of level yet. And then I just, even if they bring up a subject and I completely know the answer and I can cut the whole conversation short and tell them, I just shut up and just let them work through their thoughts and just like, damn, okay. Okay. I mean, even if
Mhm.
they, I hope it ends up when they, finish their getting to their thought that is on the right side, but sometimes on the wrong side. But even if they're on the wrong side, I can show the correction, but still, it's damn. I've watched how they worked through a complete thought.
Mhm.
Like that's some time, and that's a whole lot of different segments of their life that they built this upon. So from intellectual, emotional, mental, past experiences, you know, um, what's the phrase I'm looking at? Critical thinking. All of that happened in
Mhm.
a conversation. So in that, it's hard to pinpoint how I had my influence on it, but just the basic way for me to be able to answer that, I guess, is just be able to watch their growth at this
Good one.
particular point in time. Either through my hands, physically, and me, touching on them, having a conversation with them to, elevate their mental or their thought process, or be it through whatever I do outside of their lives, being providing room, board, house over their, roof over their head, and where they go to school at. I allow only certain influences, and I don't allow other influences. So it's kind of steering their thought process, whatever that may be. I just know what the end result is, and so far I'm happy with it. And it's just that they're growing up on time. And it makes it easy for me because it's only slight adjustments. I mean, there's going to be some growing pains as they go through the normal, adolescent to preteen, late teen, where I guess I'm at right now, which still isn't as big of a problem, but we've created enough of a safe space where the kids talk to us. We can exchange ideas, whatever they don't know, and I don't. I didn't have the foresight to see that this is an issue that we need to talk about to prepare you for. They can come to me with it. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, since you brought that up, da 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 da. Kind of lead them down the right direction. But ultimately, it's just the growth that I see, and I can kind of see the direction they're heading. So that's probably my biggest and proudest thing of them at this particular point.
Cool.
I agree 100%. I'm a I like to go with the phrase or the saying, however it goes. But the kids are basically brought here to show us a side of something that we don't have, that we're lacking in. They're here to expose that in so many ways, I feel like. And that's kind of like for instance, my son is a very much so on the more emotional side where he has the intuitiveness to act on his emotions first. With me, I'm the total opposite. But I feel like the pleasures of just watching him grow and some of the most like gratifying parts of just again being a father is watching that for one, him navigating through his emotions, but then also it's like, man, he's really healing me too. Like along this journey, I'm noticing, dang, I didn't have that. Cause, coming up in the house with no father, I'm watching him do things that I allow him to have, like the open space and the free will to do. But it's like, man, not even realizing like you helping me grow all while you're growing. So it's like I'm living in a world where I'm steadily adjusting to just not what I know, what I've been taught, what's coming, and then what I'm trying to teach him. With him, he only knows what he's being taught. And I'm the one, of course, with his mom, it's like we are the two people who's going to put this information in his head, of course, along with teachers. But it's like watching this whole process as from an adult, seeing some of my past and then watching his present and the possibilities of what he can do with how smart he is and again how fast he can maneuver through these type of situations, like man, that's some of the best parts of being a father. That's like some of the most rewarding moments and things because it's like again, it's not even just being a father, but it's like I'm healing at the same time. I get to heal within the process of being a father, like unwillingly, not even unwillingly, but I mean, like it's not what I'm not forced to do it. It just naturally happens, basically.
Man. Well, y'all rocking and rolling. Kind of good. Man, I miss these conversations, man. So I had the privilege of raising 9 kids in my lifetime. Um, and 8 of them are stepkids. One of them is my biological. And there is a poet slash rapper, God bless his soul, that says, there's no way that I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. And that speak volumes. Late Tupac Shakur, God bless his soul. But my point is that, the older they get, they start understanding back to where you teach. And fatherhood taught me so much patience to where you have to be patient. It's almost like putting a seed in the ground and watching it grow, right? And you water that seed and you just watch it grow. And in times, yeah, they're gonna make mistakes. You might have some bad apples to come around. Try to get into that other positive part of that seed that you're growing. But the principles that we teach, the way that they see us, our examples, is what they're going to remember the most. I can buy them 1,000 toys right now, but the thing that I taught him how to go jump a car or like, change brakes or do this. And like the other day, took him swimming and he's getting better at swimming. But he allowed fear to kick in. So he start panicking. And I say, son, you got to stop panicking. You got to allow it to, you got to relax. You know what I'm saying? Because the water, if you feel like it's going to, like this thing can hit, they can hurt you. This water can hurt you if you're not, right about it. So I say, you got to be mentally okay, understanding like, okay, this is what I need to do in this type of time. So he jumps in the water. And the first thing he looks for dad. I'm over there. I'm just chilling. And yes, I could save him. I can grab him, and I just let him sink a little bit. Like, and he figured it out. He started swimming like he figured like Michael Phelps after that, man, because I allowed him to just be. And I taught him, I showed him, I say, hey, son, look, watch dad, watch me, watch me. And after a certain amount of time, he allowed that fear and his confidence. And every time that I saw that he was doing great, I applaud him, right? Good job, son. Keep it going. Boom. And that built his confidence to where now I'm not even affected about the fear because it's not going to even cripple that because dad said that I'm good, right? So that alone, like how many times that we have heard, great job, son, great job, Henry, great job, Corey, great job. So whenever you get applauded, it does make you feel good. It's like, dang, like that made me feel all right. I can accomplish this thing or I can tackle whatever because my wife had got my back or my girl got my back, my son got my so however you view it. But that realness comes from us instilling the confidence in them at an early age. And they'll be able to grow up. And all it is a recycle because it's going from some of it we have to unlearn and teach the right way, right? But for the main part, it's the same cycle of giving to that child and watering that seed and making sure that they give it to their children and their children and their children. So it's like, and that been passed on because another example, my son, he'll go see an elderly lady or any woman or anybody, period. He'll go open the door. He open the door. Well, especially women. And he opened the door, let the woman go first. And I'm like, man. And they was like, oh, you got so much manners. Where you learning from? My dad taught me this. And he's 3, 4 years old trying to do this. You get what I'm saying? So even like grabbing the bathroom door, he gets the paper. He watched me. He grab a napkin or the paper and grab. I said, why you do that, son? Because it got germs on the door. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? So this is things that he learned and he's gonna always remember after you keep doing it. So that's some real stuff, man. And I didn't realize the importance of fatherhood so much. And I'm just getting into my daughter's life. It's been 3 years now. Um, and I got emotional this past Father's Day because this was the first time she said Happy Father's Day to me. And I was so touched, bro, because I was just like, you know what, Jesse, you just been showing up. You've been showing up. You've been showing up for her. You've been giving her your all. You give her what you got. And these are the results that you get, right? And it start getting easier and easier because this is what you putting out is what you're gonna get back, right? So those are the moments that I cherish the most. And like Key, I think me and you was talking about it, like the last Lion King movie. And that's when like Simba was able to remember a lot of things that his dad taught him, bro. And that was a lot of things that he experienced and he was able to give it to his kids, from what his dad instilled in him, about him being the king and everything. So but yeah, man, it got a horizon of things that goes deeper than what we can ever imagine. But our presence is main known for like is well needed for not only for our kids but the communities, anybody we come in contact with. You know what I mean? Somebody might watch this live and get touched by this, or want to get back in their kid's life or whatever, however the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good question, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. My next question. I'm so goofy, man. I don't know why I be smiling and stuff. Like I'm just get excited. But the next question is, how do you balance work, personal goals, and family time?
I say I take lead on this. 'Cause right now, my job is Sunday to Wednesday. Um, I put in 12 hours Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and 6 hours on Wednesday. So it's a half day. I got to admit, I done pretty much put it into my family. Like if it's an emergency, yeah, I'm here. But because I got an hour ride to and from, that means a 14-hour day. So unfortunately, daddy slash husband, baby, whatever you call me, I'm gonna be on minimum for that, just because once I get there, I got there's a whole different set of demands that's put on me that don't give a crap about what I got going on at the house.
Right.
So I got to try to make sure that when I'm off, so say grocery shopping is done. Anything that they may need is done to minimize the effects that I may come into on those days. So it shouldn't be a dinner issue or a homework issue or anything Sunday, Monday, Tuesday because I got the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to help you whatever to get to whatever, and constantly reiterating that same fact like daddy working right now, um whatever this is that need to be done, when is it due? So if that means it's due fairly shortly, I need to figure out some time when I'm off to help you out so that when I'm on the work, on the job,
Right.
whatever, and my time is minimal, that I'm not, taking away from you or not taking away from the job. Because if I take away from the job, ultimately that's going to take away from you.
Mhm.
If
Right.
I'm taking
Right.
away, and I can't hold a job liable for me taking away from you because that is my responsibility. I need
Right.
to figure that out.
Right.
So I guess my biggest thing is knowing what's all pressing, what all I need to do with enough time where I can kind of make my schedule up where I can make everybody happy. Unfortunately, because of that, and given the most recent holiday, is I think most dads tend to play themselves short because we spread ourselves so thin. We're trying to make work happy, trying to make kids happy, trying to make wife happy, trying to make everybody else happy. And I'm pretty sure in me there's a lot of mothers who echo the same thing, but because of this conversation and the crowd that I'm in, I'm speaking to fathers and men right now. We tend to spread ourselves very thin. We're trying to make sure everybody else got what they need, but we also need to.
Exactly.
You have
Hmm.
to be able to feel that need because even if you burn yourself down to, you run yourself down to fumes, you still expected to give everything else 100%.
Right.
So
Hmm.
I think you owe it to yourself. You have to set up systems to be able to allow yourself to build up to close to that 100%. I don't think any man that, at least that I know of, is operating off at 100% all the time for everybody, including himself. I think once you divvy up the pie, we kind of getting, I don't know, one side of the pie because our
Hmm.
slice is so thin we don't have but one side.
Right.
So you
Right.
you you have to be able to set yourself up so that you can appease everybody as much as possible. So you can give as much as you need to work, and even more importantly to the family. Be able to
Hmm.
nurture them because you chose that. So now you have to be able to feed in that as much as possible,
Right.
uh, in whatever that entails.
Right.
Homework, projects, just teaching your son how to shoot a jump shot, how to catch a ball,
Right.
whatever that
Right.
entails. Those are still your responsibilities, and you still are required to show up
Right.
outside of what your other duties are as far as providing. That's just all it makes up of being a father. You just take on more and more responsibilities, and you still
Man,
have to be able to succeed on all of that.
man, picture that because like that's amazing, man. Kudos to you too, man, for even able to do that type of thing and balance it at the same time. Because if you're working 14-hour shifts, bro, like all total, right? And there's only 24 hours in a day, there's only 10 hours personally. And maybe 5 or 6 of that is sleeping, right? And so the other remaining is like you gotta try to split that in between maybe your personal hobby or something that you can do, or you can't even do that maybe sometimes. Like, or because most of that going to the family and to to the family, right?
Right.
So picture that. Like that's a big balance to have or try to, accomplish. Um,
Mhm.
and like you said, a lot of times that's whenever we have to pump the brakes sometime as men, because like doing all of that, it causes you to have all of these like different like ailments and things that we got to go get ourselves checked with our bodies, and and we not even sure of it, because sometimes because we might not even show no symptoms or anything. That's why it's important to go to these doctors and appointments and all these other things. But finding the time is that's the hardest thing as being a father, being a husband, being a leader. Like we have so many hats that, and I know us women, they got a lot of hats to wear too, but we cracked the foundation a lot, man, and we paved the way for our families. So we it's important for us to have these balances that we need for work and for family, and all of that is important, but the main important one is the rest that we need, you know the mental rest, the physical, the emotional. And a lot of times we might not even let out none of that because we got to hold it together at all times. We got to always have that outer shell hard as as a brick. So yeah, man, I didn't want to go away from your take, Cole, but I wanted to add into
Mhm.
that.
You good. I'm again, y'all y'all both hitting it on the head. I think Han said something earlier about having a system, and I do think that's crucial because we as men have system, even though they're built in. Um, just since we was young, creating that with your kids, I think is vital too. Um, Communication, I think y'all both touched on that. Just being able to communicate with your kids, depending on how many you have and what type of dynamic y'all have in the house, being able just to communicate with them so you know what's going on, so you can find where the balance is needed. Because some places, if you got older kids, they need less attention in this category, but this kid need more in this. So it's like finding again how you can take from something and give to another, but it all still balances out. But to find
Mhm.
all that out, like I said, you have to communicate. You have to be able to talk to them, find out what's going on, have to tell them, even though we're probably not so used to telling kids our business, quote unquote, but still sharing them with the information that they need to know to be like, hey, I'm not available right this time when I get off. I need, dad need 30 minutes. So talk to me after that. So then I can give you that attention. So we can again create that system and find that balance. Um, to go even a step further though, when it comes to just balancing it all out, when it's just me and kids, it's like sometimes I take my feelings out of it as a whole. Like I'll take my emotions out of what I think and then put it into what they feel and now. Because like Ian said earlier, it's like what they're feeling in that moment is catastrophic. It's huge. This is the most important thing. And right now they're trying to share it with you. So for me, it's like, I'm tired, but so what? You had a long day, so what? It's not even in life, and this is where me taking my emotions out of it, or me taking my personal perspective of what I think or should have done.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. It's you supposed to be here for them to find out what they need. Like you said, just planting the seed in them. So even though you plant the seed, that's not that's not it. That's not the end of the process of taking care of
Right.
your what you planted. So it's just like I take myself out of it. I put myself in their shoes, and then I try to navigate it with their emotions, with my intellect, and try to find that type of happy space so we can again I don't want to be the mean dad. I don't want to be the dad that you can't talk to about the soft stuff, but only talk to me about cars and girls. No, we gonna have a balanced relationship because I want to be able to have the open conversation and communicate with you so you can understand it. Because once you get out to the real world, it's not going to be that sweet. Like, we're not going to be so slow to anger. Most people aren't slow to understand. Most people are just reactive. So I have to give you communication. I have to tell you, hey, I'm taking my emotions out so you know I'm not coming at you with, I'm not mad. I'm just communicating with you. So it's just like, those are like pillars of a system, communication, regulating my emotions to find balance throughout the whole dynamic.
Wow. Wow, man. Like, him was talking about the time, and you was talking about taking the emotion out of the situation, bro. Because when you said that, I thought about something. It was more like when 9 times out of 10, a lot of times through life experience, we the more experienced one. So we kind of already know the answer per se of what they're dealing with. And like you said, it might be alarming to them and it's catastrophic. It's something that's, and you're more like, okay, I know what you're going through. I've been there already. But let me strip that away and kind of come on your level a little bit to kind of make you feel at ease, right? And let you have to go through that process. Like I said, when my son was going through that swimming part, it was just like I had to let you go through that because I don't want you afraid or fearful of this water. I want you to respect the water, respect it, but it can also be a very life teaching thing that you can do. Like, in case something happens, Lord forbid, you out somewhere and you can kind of save your life if you know this life skill, right?
Skill.
Um, but
Skill.
it's
That's
skill,
that's skill.
skill, yeah,
That part.
skill, yeah. This life skill that you learn, and that's what it's all about. It's all skills that we're all learning. We still learning skills. We still gonna live and learn that until the rest of our lives. Because that was like questions that we was able to think. Because like even him was thinking like, dang man, I really do work 14, 15-hour days. And balancing all of that and thinking about work time and family, right? And I think I'm doing a pretty damn good job at it. You know what I'm saying? Like managing all of it. You get what I'm saying? Because of the limited time that I do have. I feel like I can balance it and it's balancing the way that it needs to go. And I'm still able to give everybody what they need, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, but that emotion, taking that emotion out, bro, that's major, man, because it can disturb the child away. It can turn them away from what you're trying to teach them, the valuable lesson, because it's like, oh, I already know I already know what you're going through. Oh, man, boy, stop going through that. Stop crying about that or whatever. So you're not giving that time to let them learn and learn through the experience. But also you can hold their hand through the situation, but eventually you got to let go of that hand because they got to go into their own lives and things that they go through. But they gonna always remember those moments. You know what I mean? So that's good stuff, man. Man, y'all brothers
You know,
rolling.
I would say that by working in the maintenance field, that I know there's times with people that I work with that for lack of a better way of putting it, my patience is short. I only really need the particulars of whatever the problem is for me to address it and fix it. Now, when it comes to my kids, I can't operate the same because I can't expect them to just give me the particulars for me to fix it because you're talking decades in between. Decades in between, my thought process and their problem.
Right.
My reasoning and what their issue is. Now I know on one of our other conversations, I was like, raps don't understand excuse me, Eagles don't raps don't understand Eagles logic. That still applies to this. because they are developing that problem solving skills. And even though I may understand what it is right now, and it's not that big of a deal to me, it's not that big a deal to me at what my age is versus decades lower, as far as their thought process, because they hadn't had to go through that yet. There's been times where my daughter has brought something to me. She was asking me a question, and it was emotional to her, but I'm in bed. I'm almost asleep. I'm listening to what she has to say, and I give her an answer. It's not ever a matter of that. Look, it ain't even that serious. Going back around there, I'm trying to go to sleep or not because I understand. Was not that serious to me. It's only because it's not that serious to me because I've seen it happen over and over again, whatever that may be. You and your friend, y'all at odds right now. Y'all be all right tomorrow, but she don't understand that they're gonna be all right tomorrow. Right now, as far as that's the biggest crisis that she's dealt with. In all honesty, at my age, I should be grateful that that's the only crisis that she got to deal with. Because right now, just turning 12 years old, there's a lot of 12-year-olds that deal with a hell of a lot more. And those parents should still be present in the midst of that, just as I should be within my 12, 14. Well, once you mix in, a shower and dinner, now you're talking about 15 and a half hours equals 16. So it kind of cuts that window down. But that does not negate what my responsibilities are. I still got to show up. I still got to be here.
Facts.
All right.
You got anything else going on that one? Or?
No, I'm gonna let that settle.
You gonna let it settle? Yeah.
Let
We
that
gotta
settle.
let that season kick in, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 more questions, fellas. Okay.
All right.
So this one is, in your opinion, how can fathers build stronger emotional connection with their children?
Oh, that's easy. It's kind of like we said, creating a system, creating communication spaces, which create safety. Um, but I think too. Again, I'm a father of one. But in the way that Jesse put it out, in my in my lifetime, I've been able to raise about 6 or 7 kids, including mine. Um, and something I've learned, again, just what y'all probably can understand, especially when it comes to the teenage age, it's like a lot of times they want us to trust them, and we don't really have too much background or information in big stages where we can't trust them, but we got a lot of little things that they've done that's like, I don't know if your judgment of decision making skills are good yet to put you in that situation, because I'm really keeping you out of a situation that you don't know the outcome of, rather than taking your fun away. But I do feel like as we grow, again, just in those spaces with our kids, allowing them that freedom to choose without questioning, like allowing them to have a brain, come to a decision, and then like, hey, you sure about that? And be like, okay, because as we both know, um, if I say I told you so, that's kind of like rubbing it in your face. You're not gonna really take that too kindly if I keep saying, "Hey, I told you so." It's like, no, I want to be able to talk to you and coach you, but then I'll also have to let you jump off the diving board at your own free will. I told you what's gonna happen when you jump in it. I told you what's gonna happen when you walk on it, and I told you when you go up the stairs to the actual thing to hold down with 2 hands. I gave you all the preliminary precautions. I told you the possible outcomes depending on how you jump, right? But after that, it's up to you to take that jump. And hey, but when you take that jump in that water, I'll be there. Regardless the outcome, I'll be there to support you through it. And I feel like that gives them, again, as you think you said, Jesse, confidence to be like, my dad trusts me, or my mom trusts me, or in this case, the dad. And I know he's strong, he's smart, then I should be good. And again, it kind of instills that within themselves. So I think as simple as, again, just allowing them to be the human that they are, and then not just share the experience with them, but allowing them to still have some of it by themselves, but while, again, being in the area of whatever.
Right.
I think we kids grow up with, they don't have this idea of what could go wrong. They only see what can go good. So in that, I think they grow up with, consciousness and oh God, I lost the word. Consciousness and the potential. And as they grow older, they see the consequences. And the best thing we could do for them is try to be there for them as they work their way through that. Now, the consciousness part, that's, completely out of their hands. That's just them growing from adolescence up to making their decisions. Now, as you make your decisions, yeah, there's always potential for whatever to go good, but it's up to us to help instill them to make the best decisions. You need to understand the good and bad of everything that you do. What are the consequences? And even at a younger age, consequences don't fully set in until you get a little older, and then you start realizing that, for everything that you do or don't do, there's still another side of that has to be dealt with. And that other side that needs to be dealt with is still going to concern you, whether you did whatever it was or
Mm-hmm.
you didn't do. It's still,
Right.
you're still accountable for that. I'm accountable for things as an adult of things that I did when I was younger. So right now,
Oh,
yeah, there are things that you do you are still accountable for. You need to be your understanding of both sides of whatever decision you make. You still got to deal with. Even if you make the right choice, you still got to deal with, you know, whatever didn't go right. That's still on you.
Mhm.
right.
Now, and that's a big part of me is instilling and teaching them to be able to make the best choices so that they can deal with whatever however that may fall out through any and every decision there. So I guess ultimately my thing of, as far as being a parent is to make sure that they're ready to deal with whatever may come in life, good, bad, whatever decisions they are, how to make the best decisions, and then how to, live after whatever that decision may be.
Thanks. Man. I would say, man, the emotion, the emotional connections, man. Because they're like you had brought up here, and you was talking about, them growing up as kids and then adolescents, then all the way, from teens to adults. And so us as men, us as fathers, I think mine is more of continue to be creative on trying to reach them or whatever stage they are. Cause, like even with my daughter, um, I was able to create like a Roblox account, right? That was my way of getting to her because there's like me as an adult and she's 9, we don't we don't think the same, right? She's still a kid. So it's not gonna be like, oh, thinking the way that I think. So I was able to get like Roblox. She showed me how to play. I still suck at it, but that's
Same.
my bonding time with her, right? So it's like I'm able to get online with her. We go in these different rooms. And a lot of times she's fussing at me more than anything, but that's okay because I'm able to reach her at a different level, right? And now she give me that ground to be able to speak about certain things or talk about certain things because I came into her world, right? So,
Mm.
we have blended families here, and you have teenagers and things of that nature too as well. So there's a different level once they start getting into high school, junior high, and all that. It's like um, I tell my son and my daughter all the time because they close in age, 110 and 19. And I was like, man, I'm enjoying these moments right now because once you turn 12 or 13, you ain't gonna want to be bothered with me no more. You ain't gonna be coming sit on my lap and talk to me and do this. It's gonna be harder for me to be able to reach you, right? So now I'm gonna have to get more creative. Right? So to be able to reach you at a point. So one of the things that I learned and I'm looking at now and it's like, what could I do to like prevent them from not being able to give the feel like they have that safe space or whatever is me putting my phone down and going to them more instead of them coming to me, right? I go to them, kind of see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, give me that joystick, let's play or whatever. And you'll be surprised of the things that they would tell you or what they're dealing with just off of you just coming in their world and just instead of them coming to you and it's like almost like a death sentence for them because it's like, oh man, I'm just doomsday, right? So
Mm.
I learned a lot just doing that, just going to the court and go shoot around with my stepsons and like just going and man, what's going on? What's going on in your brain, bro? And you picking their brain, they'll start talking when they get comfortable. So that emotional connection comes from you asking the right questions and actually just being inside of their world, man, and just giving them that time to be able to feel relaxed and be able to trust you enough. That's the bigger word too, trusting that comes big, like that's major. That trust because they be able to look at you and be like, okay, dad care, right? I can come to dad with anything. And with our fathers you're coming up or uncles or whoever, you had that they had that dominance that you like, man, I ain't gonna ask this dude nothing because it's like he looked big on the outside, and it's like, and you're not able to get what you need because you just fearful of asking him certain things, or he might bark at you for asking a certain thing, or this or that. So it's like, dang. So that creativity is something that you have to put in your mind, and sometimes you just got to put your phone down and go to them and stop what you're doing. Go to them. Go to them and ask questions. Like, hey man, what's going on, man? How was school? What's going on? Like, dad has time. I'm telling you that you don't see me on my phone right now because I'm coming in your world right now. What's going on? You want to go shoot? You want to go do this? Go and do that. Um, and Key, like with Corey, like what you did the other day with your son, man. Got him riding your bike. He riding his bike. You jogging. You
Mhm.
you behind him, and he enjoyed those moments, man, because it's like, oh man, dad is here, and dad, we they superheroes, man. Believe it or not, especially when they're young, it's like, man, we can't do no wrong in their eyesight, and we are some wrong human beings a lot of times,
For real.
but in their eyesight, it's like you're his hero, and
Mhm.
I'd rather that than like how we used to have to grow up, you know, Tupac and looking at the rest of these guys that was our heroes, man, because a lot of times we didn't get time spent with us. So we had to look for the next best thing. It was like, okay, man, this guy here got it together. This one got it together. So we need to be that for them. Get what I'm saying? And they be able to have that. Now, the girls is a little bit different. It's a little harder because we're not females, right? We don't know how to think and what they're dealing with. And sometimes you can't always push it off on their mother, right? You can't say, man, go ask your mama, but sometimes she's looking for dad to give her that advice. And you have to be totally different with that. Cause with my daughter, she just, you know, she has a way of like getting to my heart, bro. It's like, dang, man, like, and I feel like I can't tell her no, but I have to sometimes, right? It's like I have to. So that's another thing. So it's another thing that I'm learning. And I learn patience with them both, and it's like it's a lot that goes on with that. But I think that we need to be a more available for our kids, and go and reach them instead of like putting that pressure on them to be able to come to us while we busy.
You know, us as parents, it depends on what child we have. You think once you become an adult and to a certain point, your growth starts to is instead of growing by leaps and bounds, is minimal at this particular point. But it's not. It really is not. Like if you having a boy, I mean, if you have a boy, you have a certain way that you have to deal with him to help his emotional growth. But what you don't expect is the emotional growth that happens inside you while you're trying to bridge that gap to him. Um, by and speaking from a father of daughters, that is diabolical, point blank, because that having a girl forces you to deal with something that you didn't even realize, a set of emotions that you didn't realize that you had. Right? You
Mhm.
can, if you fuss at your boy, like, why you did that? Clean that up. And he just go to clean it up, you done with it. But when you fussing at your daughter like that and she just well up with tears, and now all of a sudden you feel guilty for something that she messed up, and now you got to clean that up with her, it's just a whole set of emotions that us as men, we kind of turn off at an early age that we didn't realize that, damn, now I got to deal with this shit.
Right.
But
Right.
that's it. That's all part of it, and it's all part of your growth as well as theirs. So I guess all that to say is, once you get past a certain age, you have to realize. I know we've always heard the phrase of career student. That's really what you are. If you're a father, a decent father, you're in a constant state of growth. It's never ending. If you are 60, 70 years old and you have kids in their 40s and 50s, they still look to you to advice. Because in their mind, you are the wisest person that they know outside their grandparents. Regardless of what who they've come across in their lives, teachers or whatever else, when it comes down to it, they're going to always come back to mom and dad to ask advice. They value you like that. Now, whether you have the most intelligent advice and whether you have the most wisest advice is both going in the same direction, but are two totally different answers. And there's nothing wrong with realizing that, this might be well outside of my wheelhouse to give you the best advice on, the smartest advice on, but I have to be able to, know that within myself, like, well, baby, I might not be the right person for you to ask, but I can try to help lead you in the right direction because you still have that responsibility of leadership. And leadership does not mean you are the end all to all, queries, questions, conversations, any of that. Sometimes it's just a matter of realizing that I'm smart enough to know that I don't have the information that you need to make the best
Right.
decision.
Right.
And I can let you know that, or I can steer you in the right direction. And hell, now if you want to take that to looking at your own household, yeah, that whole man rules the household thing, and yeah, to a certain degree, but that doesn't mean that you make all decisions in the household. Because sometimes making the right decisions mean your wife might be better at finances than what you are. Your wife might be better at cooking than what you are. Hell, your wife might make more money than what you are. You need to be able to back off and hand that over and be like, hey, I don't have the tools that you need to handle this, but this is where we can go to get with them.
Mhm.
So now come back full force as a parent. You got to know where your limitations are at and still be able to try to help guide those individuals that you are consider under your care for the best outcome. Period.
Good stuff.
Man, good
Good
stuff.
stuff.
Let me ask something real quick for you. This one more
Yeah,
question,
go ahead, go
right?
ahead. Yeah, one more question. Go ahead. Do your thing.
So
I love this
essentially,
wisdom, man.
and this is for our kids, our whether sons or daughters, and for us and those we're dating or married to. It's like, so essentially we're just byproducts of our parents, and our kids are a byproduct to us. But depending on how those, whatever we have is being raised, is then a representation of that parenting skill, right? Because again, we're not women, but like you just said here, whether mom is there or not, we still have to adjust and accept and acknowledge certain emotions that we either didn't know exist or we just didn't know how to handle them. Same thing with the boys. Sometimes we have to heal. We have to deal with the emotions that they have because the situations that they're in are different than ours. So it's like you didn't even know this was an issue to have to deal with them. For you didn't know it existed, but with them it does because it's a whole different time frame. So it's like it's just a continuous thing. Again, the woman you date or the man that the daughters date are byproducts to their parents. We're byproducts to our parents, and our kids are byproducts to us. And it's like it's just a continuous thing, but we can, I guess we can be proud to say when we create something, they are the branches to our tree that we just can sit and watch and be like, okay, me and moms did all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, regardless, like I raised a stand-up child. Even though some of the information I got is no longer not obtainable. It's no longer, it can't apply to this time and this time and day. That information is kind of old history now. Now I have to apply the new info, and we're still doing pretty good at that. Because yeah, no, it was just more of a thought, not really a question, but a thought in a question. Like, are we just byproducts of everything that our parents went through and try not to be? And then we turned out to be all of that plus more, and then we just transferring that over.
Facts. Oh man. Man. All right, man. So last question. Last and final question. Um, if you could speak to every father that's listening right now, what message would you like to leave with them? And I'll start this one off. Um, keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep being present. Be patient. And remember you're not perfect, right? Those are the keys to life in general, right? Um, and the thing is that I would say is that none of this comes with a manual. So all three of these fathers that you see on this screen right now, we messed up over the years. We ain't always got it together. You know, things happen, but we keep showing up. And that's the biggest thing that we can say that help our families be who they are today, right? Um, the patience part comes with knowing that everything that you instill inside of that child or inside of your household or whatever, that person may be listening to your advice or they might go totally against your advice, right? But the part of the patience part is you gonna always remain a father, always. And I don't care how old they are, how young they are, they're gonna always try to seek your counsel. Like him said, like they're gonna seek your counsel. They're gonna come revert right back to you and everything that you have, right? So showing up is more than showering them with gifts and giving them what they want and all of that. But the thing that they're gonna always remember is what Ken had brought up one earlier, is about the time. I don't remember everything that my parents gave me, but I do remember the times of certain times and things, or how I felt in that moment as a kid or as an adolescent or as a teenager or as a grown adult. I can still remember how that made me feel. So that's what's important, man. It's like I don't care what the situation is. Keep on being diligent. Keep on showing up. Keep showing your baby mama that you capable of doing this and doing that. And eventually, man, it's going to be able to get a little bit easier for you, that you be able to be around your kid and do everything that you want to do with that kid. I'm a prime example of it. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever give up hope. Don't ever give up on nothing, man. But actually understand that you did your best as a man, right? You're doing your best as a man. And any man that take care of his family, I salute you. I give you 100% respect. You get what I'm saying? So, but that's my main thing, man. Is like showing up, man. That's what the kids gonna always remember. That my dad showed up for me. You know what I'm saying? I was going through this or that, but he showed up for me. You know what I'm saying? He might not know the answer to it right away, like him said. I might not know the answer, but I'll get back with you the 3 to 5 business days. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. And if I don't, I'm going to ask the next person that actually does know, right? And that can lead you in the right direction. I'm not going to lie to you and act like I know what you thinking about. So that's my take on it. But just keep showing up, fellas. Real men stand up in difficult times, in good times, in trying times, and and what we have to deal with our skin color as men, and a lot of times, like it's a blessing to even show up at home every night. If we get pulled over, sometimes it might not go the right way. It didn't go the right way with a few people, right? So the prayer, like women and children, everybody, man, y'all cover y'all men, man. Cover these men, cover y'all fathers in prayer and meditation. Give them, just speak life over these guys, man, because it's a lot that we don't say. It's a lot that we don't say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot that we deal with internally, right? And might not ever say it, just to see that everybody else is good, right? We're gonna take a couple of licks. We're gonna take our licks, and we're gonna take our L's in life, man. But just and I want to see not just fathers on Father's Day get acknowledged, man. Just like I think it should get pushed a little more, man, of what the men, like what we actually do, for others. And even though we might not get that recognition, we got a job to do, right? And we gotta continue to do that job, even applauded or not. So we keep it pushing, man. So like, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all guys do y'all thing. But yeah, man, that's my thing, man. It's just showing up, man. You gotta keep showing up.
Yeah, you want to go? Want me to go?
You go, man.
Uh, I agree with everything Jesse said. Showing up is that's how we even got here. Showing up and representing and being present is what it's all about. But I do think that if I had to directly talk to the man, young, wise, old, however you want to look, fall in love with authenticity. Allow yourself to be able to really, because of me, at least for me, looking at just the stages of being a father, not just a man, but a father, it changed, right? It never was the same. And I'll use kind of like the stock market. There's always lows and there's always highs. Once you start to recognize the charts, once you start to recognize the systems of which you going in, you kind of can soar through whatever the highs and lows is. But for you to know all of that, you have to fall in love with yourself. You have to fall in
Right.
love with being yourself and then being yourself to your child. Because again, if you are who you say you are, and I think the saying is like, do what I say, not as do what I say, not as I do, or something like that. Okay, well, however it goes, why don't you be both? Because how come you can't be both? Why come you can't say what you're gonna say and do what you say you're gonna do? Right? They supposed to be in alignment because again, a man should be a person of integrity, a person of respect, some type of morals and ethics, and to now externally showcase that to your kids, rather in bad situations or good. It's a situation at the grocery store where you feel like it could get physical, you behind the wheel and traffic is bad, or like Jesse said, it's something as small as open the door. Do that for everybody. Do that for yourself. And along the lines of this path of life, if you are authentic to yourself and you was able to pour out that love and compassion and all that to your kid, again, they're going to be able to respect that and see that. And then now they can embody that to then give that same type of energy outwardly back. And like you said, what you give is what you get. What you sow is what you reap, and wash and repeat. We know all the cycles. So it's like fall in love with authenticity within self, within your higher self, and give that outwardly and watch how much that pours into them.
Absolutely correct. Um, Most important thing is to show up. Whether you get it right, and this message isn't so much for um, the kids or the rest of their family versus it is more for the men, the subject matter at this particular point. The most important thing is to show up. You ain't got to get it right. Now, this might be on a far end of the spectrum, but you know how many kids at 5 and 6, 7 year old holding conversations with um, men or dads that's dealing with substance abuse issues, be it they're inebriated or whatever else that dad may feel is more important than what's going on. But for that brief moment, he let all that go and he focused in on that child. In that child's mind, dad could do no wrong. Now, the rest of the world might have a totally different assumption of what dad is, but you can't tell that child different. And only because he gave in to that child at the time frame that they needed. Now, was his information garbage? Maybe it was hit or miss. But even more so than giving the correct answer, he showed up. And in that child's mind, that dad can't do no wrong. And ultimately, that's what we need. We don't need the dads that can have their kids in Jordans and Gucci belts and dress to the T at 5, 6, 7 years old. Because, and maybe that's more so my perception than the rest of the world. But I think you kind of, I'm not gonna say you're giving them the wrong message, but I think you might be steering them in a direction that's gonna come to bite you in the behind later on. They need grounded facts at that particular point in time, and I'm not going to negate that that's not going to build a relationship, but is that a relationship that you're willing to uphold throughout their adolescence into young adulthood? Because at some point in time, they're going to realize, those things, they kind of miss the mark. The biggest thing and the biggest impression that you can have in your kids' lives is to be present. When they have their issues, be there to talk to them. As I said just a little bit ago, you might not have the right answer. Sometimes the right answer is just being able to listen to them. Because ultimately, what we all want for our kids is for them to get to a point where they can make decisions for themselves. And we try to prepare them for that as much as possible. Um, but to make those right decisions, we got to try to instill those decision making skills within them, so as they don't have to go to muddy waters to try to find that fish to feed their family, if that makes sense. They don't have to go looking off into, something that they have no preparing for. I didn't prepare them for it. I haven't expressed it to them. I haven't explained it to them. So them going really out in the darkness to try to find information, and whatever the information they get, be it good or bad. They come back with something out of the woods. So the best thing I can feel for a father right now is to give your child the time and energy that they require. Help build them up, help instruct them. If there's something that you're not that strong on, that clear on, be able to show them how to go back and find that information, and there's nothing wrong with letting them know, hey, daddy don't know. I don't understand this. But in that, this is what I think you might need to do. This is where I think you might need to look. So you at least still daddy in their eyesight, because daddy didn't know, but daddy pointed me in the direction that I should go. And you still get the credit, on the back end of all that. You got to understand, you got to leave these breadcrumbs for the kids. And it might be, again, 40, 50 years old, and you made it to in your 60s, your 70s. Regardless of what, these people will have kids of their own, and they still will look to you for advice. They will still look to you for guidance. That's something you should never, negate. You shouldn't look down upon. You shouldn't let, it should be held at that highest regard. Because you, at that point in time, once you decide to have children or you decide to be a leader, because, having children and being a leader are two totally different things. If you see a need, be it in nieces, nephews, or kids in your village, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Even if you see that and you supply your wisdom, you are still aiding in the future of that child as they grow up and leading them into where they need to go, how they need to be able to move as an adult. Mm-hmm. That is still on you. That is still a responsibility on you as a man.
Let me add something to that. That man be spitting.
That's why I say, let me go first. Let me go ahead and get mine out of the way.
I just want to add, because Henry said something, especially in the Black community, man. And I know a lot of us Black men fall victim to this stigma of giving too much in the physical realm to our kids. And like Henry said, putting them in label clothes to then possibly put them in the mentality that this is what they should have because it's their norm, right? Having labels and rocking designer and all the name brand. And it's like, it's just materials, right? However, that's to a degree where we give a lot of our times, we give our kids the silver spoon treatment is in that space. When we go back to, again, what I said earlier, to veggie back off of what he said, being in tune with your authentic self, we, all individual of us and everybody on this world, we have a skill. This is what Jesse said. So it's a two-way tie-in. We have a skill that we've been given by the grace of God. And if we are in tune with our authentic self to hone in on that skill, we can now give our child or children or the village, as Henry just said as well, that one skill that we do have, we can make that their silver spoon experience because we're well versed in it. So if Henry is a maintenance man, and I'm sure y'all may have saw the videos, he know how to fix cars. That may be the best and only thing he got, but it's what he got. So if he was to go out there in the community and now give this silver spoon treatment, which is, again, to the village of, hey, I came from a man who knew how to fix cars. He showed me how to fix cars. That's now using what you have and Aiden to the rest of the village. But you have to know, hey, Jesse's good at playing the guitar. Jesse's good at doing groundwork with the city. I'm good with doing this. I'm good with doing that. So it's like if you are okay agreeing to yourself and talking to yourself and acknowledging, hey, this is who I am. Now that silver spoon experience that we used to give again, which is in just a facade of being fashionably correct or having nice cars, like, no, I can actually teach you a skill that you can use in life. And if I'm that good at that skill, I can teach it to any and everybody, especially to the village that I'm around, to the people I'm around. And then again, that's a blossoming, flower as a it's a whole bush now. Instead of it just being one seed planted, now we got a whole row of veggies that we can all reap the benefits from because I I taught once what they say. I'm not scared. Bruce Lee said, I'm not a man who kicks 10,000 kicks. I'm a man. I'm scared of a man who kicks the same kick 10,000 times or something like that. And he said that I'm just like, so you good at one thing? No, I'm great at one thing. And I honed in on that. But again, just being able to be in tune with your authentic self and challenging whatever it may be that you're good at, give that to your kid. Even if it's something small, again, it's like knowing how to line up the grass with the liners, right? And you getting hit the damn yard look like a haircut. If you good at that, teach them that because that's precision. That's structure. It's not just lawn care. It's precision. It's balance. And along the lines, we know all of that, but they'll get that later when it's their time to receive it. So I just wanted to add that.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's almost like kind of thinking like brain overload. If you give them too much, sometimes you could fry your brain. You could, like they say, you could study too much. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like whenever they be like, "Hey, man, take a break from studying," right? Because it's brain overload. Sometimes you can just overload them. So that's why you give them bits and pieces at a time, and then it's like, okay, now here's the next puzzle piece, son or daughter. Here's the next piece that you need to put to complete this puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though sometimes that puzzle never gonna be completed, but it's still the journey that you go through. Like you still see like different pieces are fitting together, right? So it's all gonna make sense. As long as you get the basic ground steps of what I'm trying to say, the concepts of what I'm trying to say, and then you're able to apply it to your life. That's the biggest part, applying. So applying and trusting are two things that we have to do. You know what I mean? So, man, bro, it's been a great conversation, man. Good convo is a well needed one. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that we miss. And we're gonna be back, guys. We're gonna be back with our talks again, man, because I know the brothers feel like I feel right now. It feels great right now to just
Mm-hmm.
be back and be present. Even us being present right now, just being present with each other and having this conversation. Man, you can follow us on Instagram is at DA Health Window. Okay. So y'all can follow us on there. Um, I know we said the health window, but we spell it DA. Okay. Don't ask me why, but that's what we do. All right. So but yeah, you can follow us there. The same on YouTube, where we're gonna be posting this video at as well. So yeah, man, but that was a great convo. And remember, fellas, that all real men stand up, man. Let's buy back our communities. Let's take over our communities. Let's take over our families and let's be present where we need because they need us. Let's stop being a statistic and saying like here's another family that don't have a father that's present. And I know some fathers have been going on to glory and all that. You cannot help that. I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying like the present ones that's still alive, that's able and capable of being there. Let's be there, for our people. So, man, it's been great, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Any last words y'all want to say, man? Y'all can say it or whatever, but
You kind of hit it. You said us just being present. It just literally made me think. I think if I'm not mistaken, when we add it all up, I think we may have had 3 conversations about Father's Day. So that means we're 3 years in trying to give this wisdom. We 3 years in from the beginning of when we first said the first conversation to now. So it's like, it's amazing, man. Just being able to look back at, like you said, it's been a while, but it's still amazing that we're still here, being able to, again, give new information about the same topics and still, God's giving grace that we're still on this earth. So it's like, I just appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all time, and I appreciate y'all presence as well, fellas, for real. So happy
So,
belated Father's Day to y'all again. But yeah,
yeah. Yes, sir.
I feel the same. Just men, just please. You're not gonna get it right. Just go ahead and just put that out there to start with. You're not gonna get it 100% right. Sometimes you can hit the ball in the park. Sometimes it's gonna be a foul ball. It just is what it is. You recalibrate. But kids, they don't necessarily know that. They don't realize that. The biggest thing that they want to see and they want to experience and that they need is you to be present. Put your phone down. Put the remote down. When they bring something to you, they talking to you, anything they're expressing, look them in their face. I mean, even in my 12, 14, 15 and a half hour days, I understand. I got a narrow window that I can share with my family, and I got to share it with everybody. Everybody got to get a piece of, some of that time. Yeah, I still got to go to sleep to reset for the next day, but I still am required, and this expectation is still there that everybody get a piece of that time. But by the time I lay down at night, everybody's content. Now, I still got to, have that presence of mind that I need a certain amount of time for me to prepare for the next day, but that's a system that's put in place.
Mhm.
But ultimately, you got to show up. You got to be able to give them their time. They didn't ask for it to be here or whatnot, but when they come to you with their issues, you just got to understand. Right now, I mean, that might not be that big a thing on your scale as far as things to worry about, but to them, it is. Give them that time, nurture them, help them get past that point. That's just solely your job. And if you do that, you'll be good. You'll be good. You'll still ultimately you'll rack up enough wins where you'll still end up on the good side of things at the end of the race.
Mhm.
You just got to
Real
be
talk.
present.
Real talk.
Yeah. Show up.
Well, all right, man. It's been a pleasure. The
Yes,
health
sir.
window. We back live at 5, baby. Let's go. But y'all be easy, man. Y'all have a good night. Talk to y'all later.
All right. Peace.
Peace out.
It is.